TMZ Live. The Nick Reiner murder case has been upended. His lawyer, Alan Jackson, has withdrawn from the case. We broke this story this morning. Withdrawn. A public defender has now been appointed. But Alan Jackson had some parting words that you need to hear, and it opens the door to something that we've been talking about for a while now, about what Nick Reiner is going to do before a jury.
My team and I remain deeply, deeply committed to Nick Reiner and to his best interests. What we've learned, and you can take this to the bank, is that pursuant to the laws of this state, pursuant to the law in California, Nick Reiner is not guilty of murder. Print that. Print that.
So when he says
not guilty of murder,
but I think there are words more important than not guilty of murder that he just pursuant to the laws of California, because that's something we've been talking about now for 3 weeks, which is that it is very likely Nick Reiner is going to plead not guilty by reason of insanity.
Yeah, he's not going to argue that he didn't commit the killings, right?
Correct.
He's going to argue that as a matter of law, even though Nick Reiner did in fact deal the fatal blows to his parents, he is not guilty under California law because he was not legally sane at the time he committed the killings.
So there's a standard for showing not guilty by reason of insanity in California. And a lot of people think it means you have to show the person didn't know the difference between right and wrong. That's not true. That's a common mistake people make, that Nick Reiner, by all accounts, knew it was wrong because he fled. And he went to a hotel. And we're going to get into other reasons in the next couple of days. We have a documentary coming out on Fox on Friday night. But what it means is the person lacks the capacity to understand the nature and quality of the act that they're committing.
Right. Well, what's interesting is that so we should say Alan Jackson was speaking on the steps of the courthouse in downtown LA right after what was supposed to be Nick's arraignment. Nick Reiner was in court this morning. Alan Jackson was there as well, and that's when he announced to the judge that he was withdrawing from the case. Nick Reiner, the pool camera was not allowed to show him, but there was a court sketch artist there. But we had a reporter who was in the courtroom who said that he was rocking back and forth. He was smiling without showing teeth.
I think Alexa is up. Tell us what you saw when you looked at Nick.
Yeah, so Nick was sat towards the back of the room. Very difficult to see him from media standpoint, but he looked rather calm. He stayed seated for the majority of the time, did stand up to speak with Alan as he was introducing him to the new defense attorney, Kimberly Green. He looked pretty pleased. He was very calm and stoic, looked around the room a lot, even smirked at one point. Alan Jackson had been talking to him, and he received some sort of information that he was in agreement with. It seemed like that he took the transition very well with this new public defender, but even at one point when he stood up, he went on his tippy toes and had looked over into the audience. So he was not afraid of the media seeing his face, but according to Alan Jackson's movements, he wanted to keep him pretty hidden in the back.
So back to this defense of not guilty by reason of insanity. We have already told you, and we're going to have more over the next few days, describing in some detail what happened. Charles and I and somebody else on our staff are, doing this documentary, and we really get into the specifics. But we can say, and we've already reported, that Nick was diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder. That is a very, very serious form of schizophrenia that not only involves delusions and psychosis, but also these severe mood disorders. And that we are going to get into the way he was treated and how that might align with this not guilty by reason of insanity defense.
Right, and that's clearly what Alan Jackson is referring to, we feel, when he said, because that was
There's
alarming.
there's no doubt.
And Alan Jackson is seasoned at this and knows what he's doing. And to punctuate his news conference by saying that and just saying he is not guilty.
And that was his parting shot.
And that's his part. So he knows that that is going to, and it's interesting, as he's leaving the case, he is clearly sort of dropping the breadcrumbs of whoever ends up, because while Kimberly Green is the public defender now assigned to this, it seems unlikely that she's going to be the person who takes this into court because of what the nature of this case. A public defender just
A public defender can do it. I don't think
legal has the legal expertise,
I
but
don't
there's
think
more
it's
that you need.
Well, you know why? Because it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to get experts to prove that defense. And the public defender doesn't have the resources for that.
Sure. This is an incredibly involved trial. I mean, it's almost as involved as sort of like, we know the Diddy trial cost him millions and millions of dollars to defend. And, you know, a public defender just doesn't have the resources, the expert witnesses at their disposal to defend the case in that way. It's got to go out to a private counsel.
Now, all this said, as soon as Alan Jackson walked away, Nathan Hochman, the LA County DA, walked up to the mic and had a very different view of this.
We are fully confident that a jury will convict Nick Reiner beyond a reasonable doubt of the brutal murders of his parents, Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer Reiner, and do so unanimously.
That's an interesting comment because if, you know, I don't know how much Nathan Hochman knows about the defense, but, you know, he doesn't seem open to hearing, at least the way he's speaking.
But that's what the DA won. The DA has to say that, and he's saying it based on
what?
On evidence the police have gathered,
but
right?
Well, right, but not the medical. But not the medical.
I get that.
It's not. The defense counsel's job, period, is to get the client off. Number one. The DA's job is to do right by the law.
Right.
If he was technically, legally insane, Nathan Hochman should not be saying, we don't care about his insanity.
But Nathan,
Hold on, but nobody has publicly said the insanity.
I don't think Nathan Hochman has that information yet.
Right.
I think that information is all within the family because Nathan Hochman doesn't. The police can't just go in and say, "Give me your records."
I understand.
And so I don't know that Nathan Hochman has. I don't think he has the information to even evaluate.
So what's he doing? Why doesn't he just say the law will play, the case will play out, the evidence will be presented, and...
So if I'm Nathan Hochman, here's what I'd say. Alan Jackson didn't say there, not guilty by reason of insanity. He just said not guilty of murder. And so I think Nathan Hochman could say, I'll take that at face value and say he's going to say not guilty of murder. He's not mentioning insanity, and I'm just going to say we're going to go the opposite way. So he could say that.
He could say that. I just wish he would.
But I just know
temper it.
That based on everything we're hearing and what you're going to see in this documentary is that there is a boatload of information about Nick's history leading up to literally the week before the murders on what I think will become a defense of not guilty by reason of insanity.
Hi, my name is Caitlin. I'm an attorney in Arizona. I love all the commentary. I don't know why Alan Jackson withdrew, and obviously he said he can't disclose that because of attorney-client privilege. I don't know if he's coming from a trauma-informed lens. I mean, this is a young man who has been through a lot. He has been through several systems within the mental health industry, and he has been through a lot. So it can be incredibly difficult to represent these types of defendants, especially if you don't have a lot of history. I was a public defender for over 12 years, so I would have the history, but if you're not used to it, it can be incredibly difficult, even when you're trying to act in your client's best interest.
And you raised something interesting that we really haven't addressed yet, which is why Alan Jackson withdrew. And the family came out with a statement that just says we have faith in the justice system, so they didn't really explain. There was an anonymous source that the New York Times cited saying it had nothing to do with Alan Jackson's performance. But Alan Jackson interestingly said at the news conference what it was beyond Nick Reiner's control. That's an interesting statement.
Beyond Nick Reiner's control.
That's an interesting statement. And I'm not sure what that means.
Coming up.
Well, just when you thought there were absolutely no new documents to come out of the Justin Baldoni Blake Lively case, we have an email written by Justin Baldoni that is really, really revealing about what was going on as they made this movie. It ends with us.
Be right back.
Well, just when you thought there were absolutely no new documents to come out of the Justin Baldoni Blake Lively case, because there has been a mountain of them up to this point, We have an email written by Justin Baldoni that is really, really revealing about what was going on as they made this movie, It Ends With Us. So this was an email, it was written in December of 2023. They were in the middle of, they were about to come back to start shooting the movie at the end of the writer's strike.
And it was a few days before the showdown they had at Blake and Ryan's apartment in New York City.
Where they had this all hands on deck meeting to discuss how things were going to be run going forward, where basically Blake was saying, it's got to be my way.
Or the highway.
Yeah. So this is what Justin wrote to his agent 5 days before that meeting. Part of it says, hey man, had a really, really bad week. She, Blake, had the audacity to email me directly and invite me to a meeting at her house alone if I chose. She's refused a body double, which now Sony and Todd have to jump in to make sure that happens, because that's just setting me up for a trap. Although she's making me have one, a body double. She's rejected all my storyboards for the sex scenes. So he has to get involved because she's trying to keep all of both our clothes on for the big love scene, which is just ridiculous.
So I want to try to decipher this a little bit. The way I'm seeing this is what Justin wanted to do was he wanted to make the movie sexy, and she didn't. And so that was the conflict from the jump. And so what he seems to be saying here is they've had so many conflicts over this that she wants to win this so bad that she will set him up and do a scene, a sexy scene where she's refusing a body double so that something can happen so that she can then allege some sort of harassment.
Well,
I think that's what he's saying to his agent.
But she's also insisting that he have a body double.
Right, but see, that doesn't mean that he's not on the hook because he's the executive producer.
He's
so
the
what
director.
what she's saying is, yeah, do it to my face, do it to my body. Ah, you see what you did? It's harassment.
But a source close to Blake tells us that this was after they had plenty of problems on the set, and they had to put a list of things that he had to oblige to, which was the whole point of that meeting.
That was the point of their meeting.
Right, but that
I'm
was
not
already
saying
out there.
I'm not saying he was right and wrong. I'm just saying that, to me, reading that email, it to me says she's trying to set me up by us doing a sexy scene,
right. He said it.
and then all of a sudden she's going to say that's harassment. That's what he's saying. I'm not saying what's true and what's not true. That seems to be what he's saying, is that it's got so rancorous that she just...
Well, also, he said that she's insisting that he use a body double. So that's her saying, I'm going to be in the scene, but I don't want you to be... I want to work with your body double. I don't want to work with you.
Right, but he's responsible for what the body double does.
He's still responsible for it as the director.
But if they're like mostly clothed, that's the part that I didn't get. Why do you even really need the doubles at that point?
Right, if she wants to be the scene to be mostly clothed, why do you need body doubles?
Yeah,
that says that she doesn't want to work with him in any sort of
at that point.
sex scene. So he's feeling trapped, and then they have this meeting, and
it was a meeting.
And then they go ahead and they make the movie, but he says at the end of this email, I'm giving in to 95% of what she wants just to get this done, but it is an awful experience.
There's one other point that I think that one of the things Blake was intimating in all of the documents they filed is that, I don't know if the right word is to say he was coming on to her, but he was getting sexual with her, and he was saying inappropriate things as if he was kind of nuzzling up to her. When you read that email, he can't stand her. And
he clearly can't stand her.
Without a doubt.
In a sense, that helps him, because that doesn't feel like a guy who's coming on to this woman on set. It feels like a guy who's repelled by her.
Well, after all of his advances were spurred, perhaps.
So I kind of have a different perspective. Do you ever think that she said that she wanted him to be a body double, so that when he said, no, I'm not doing that, then she can say, like, see, he just wanted to be in the bed with me. See, he wanted me. He wanted to be naked with me.
Oh, that's a good way of looking at it. Interesting.
And I don't know the answer to this. When they shot that scene, did they use body doubles or not? I don't know.
But thank you, Miss Clouseau.
Well, the president's granddaughter, one of them, has had it up to here with the Secret Service. That would be Kai Trump, the daughter of Donald Trump Jr. And she is talking about the difficulty of being an 18-year-old trying to date when you have the Secret Service tailing you all the time. We've heard this from other...
The Bush twins, for example.
Yes.
The Bush twins famously.
You know, there are famously ways you can shake the Secret Service, but this is Kai's experience.
What is dating like for you?
To be honest with you, it's really awkward when you're sitting and having going on a date with a guy and they're 2 tables behind you. I've had to learn to kind of, yes, they're following me, but also focus and pretend like they're not there. For the first few months, it was tough. It was not easy kind of having someone follow you all the time and planning if you're going out somewhere, you have to oh, I'm leaving in 5 minutes. You don't really think about that stuff because you kind of just if you live a normal life, you just go out of your house and leave. You don't have to plan every single second. So that was kind of tough. But I think literally once I was well, their only job is to kind of protect me. I'm going to focus on my stuff and have them do their job. It made it so much easier.
You know what I didn't know? That the grandkids of the president get Secret Service protection. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Because she's...
I don't know, is that always that way?
I don't remember it. I don't remember that. Maybe it was always that way, but that surprised me a little bit. She has 2 agents on her. As hard as it is for her, think of poor Barron Trump.
Yeah.
He's 6'9".
6'9".
And with Secret
roaming
Service.
around New York City with Secret Service. What also, the added element for Kai is that her mom is or was dating Tiger Woods,
yeah.
so that brings a lot of attention also.
Well, guys,
gotta be tough.
She's talking about how it's weird being on a date and having 2 Secret Service guys lurking in the background.
Are you going to give your personal experience?
She's about to go to University of Miami and start, and she's going to be at a frat party.
She's at Miami?
She's going to start soon. Yeah.
Oh my God!
She's going to be on the golf team.
Can you imagine the Secret Service at that swimming pool?
Yeah. No, I went to UMiami and they party.
And
they
he taught there.
All right. Well, so he knows.
He knows about the pool.
So she's going to be at a frat house.
It's the same pool. The pool.
It's the pool.
I don't want to
It's
hear
the
about
pool.
your
It's the pool.
University of Miami.
But the point is, could be awkward.
Hi, I'm Kaylee from Pleasant Grove, and I think dating at 18 is hard enough as is. If I were her, I would try and include the Secret Service agents in on the dates so that everybody feels a little bit less awkward.
Oh, so they bring their own partner?
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
Just make it
like a double date.
Just a group date.
Oh, like a foursome thing. Oh, that's going to make the other person feel real good about it.
Coming up.
Well, there's someone else in the Trump administration ready to go to war. Not talking about Pete Hegseth, talking about HHS Secretary RFK Jr., who this morning at the White House, he said that we are declaring war on sugar, on added sugars, and we are ending the war on saturated fats.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
BB Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too.
Did you just say look at the water?
I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at. Well, there's someone else in the Trump administration ready to go to war. Not talking about Pete Hegseth, talking about HHS Secretary RFK Jr., who this morning at the White House
invaded Poland.
Well, that could have happened, but no, that's not it. Instead, he said that we are declaring war on sugar, on added sugars, and we are ending the war on saturated fats. The secretary revealed a new nutritional, this is diet and nutrition guidelines from the federal government. And
for Make America Healthy Again.
Much of it is very clearly comes from the Make America Healthy Again campaign. And there's a focus on proteins, dairy, and fats. That he's saying you should be eating more of this stuff. Some of this has kind of been flipped on its head from things that we heard from the last administration. So what are you supposed to do? Who do you believe? Which one is more accurate? Joining us now to discuss that is someone who knows, a registered dietitian and nutritionist, Vanessa Rossetto. Vanessa, welcome to TMZ Live.
Thank you for having me. How are you?
We're good, but confused. So my doctor said, kind of stay away from red meat because there are cardiovascular issues that are associated with it that aren't necessarily good for your heart. On the other hand, it does have protein. I think that's undeniable. So it's weird to me because this kind of one area bleeds into the other, that you're talking about diet, but then you're talking about, cardiovascular health. Is he just looking at one, or is he co-signing on both of these?
Yeah, many Americans don't understand how to review the research, what is statistically significant, how these things come in and play together. And, they're not any different. So yes, of course, red meat is a protein. It has iron. It has B vitamins. It's amazing. It's great for you. And we know that if all we're eating is red meat, then we're not diversifying our gut microbiome, and then we're not going to be healthier. So there is messaging and education that you need to give to people, and this is what we're actually doing. Like, we have engaged with lobbyists so that we can.
I'm sorry for stopping you. I was told to stay away from red meat.
You don't have to stay away from red meat, but you can't eat it every day. You can have 1 to 2 servings a month. That's what I would recommend to somebody.
1 to 2 servings a month?
That's right, because there are other high biological value proteins that come from animals that do not have that same link, like class 1 carcinogen, as red meat.
So, for instance,
So it's like deli meat. Do you know that every deli has a fresh ham and a fresh turkey every day? You can go ask for that. But we see a direct link to processed deli meat and colon cancer. That the literature is there, it exists. People don't have the education to know to ask, hey, I go to the deli, I want fresh turkey. They can slice it for you very
We had
thin.
that
It's there.
conversation here in the newsroom just a couple of weeks ago, explaining to some people who didn't know that there's a difference between getting processed meats at the deli and fresh meat.
That's right.
And that was the other thing that said that
Devin thought that turkeys look like,
like a mole.
It just comes in a little roll like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was the other thing that Secretary Kennedy said, that highly processed foods, you got to cut that out. And then sugar-sweetened beverages, that's where the added sugar comes in. So what I heard from that is, certainly there are foods that have natural sugars in it, and that's okay. But when you're getting, again, into processed things with fructose syrup and all that, that's where you got to lay off of that.
That's right. So like women should have around 10 to 12 grams of added sugar a day, and then men can have upwards of 16 grams. So you need to be paying attention to those things. And so not having ultra processed foods, not having too much added sugar, like those are all good in practice. It was also really great to hear Dr. Oz talk about the upper limits of alcohol and how there actually aren't any upper limits. So all of those things are great and substantive, and there is still a lot more work to do.
By the way, one of the things that the Biden administration has said is more beans, more legumes.
More plants, right?
Like plants?
Yes.
No, that seems to be very low on priority list for the secretary.
Yeah, the secretary really wants to focus on more whole foods, less ultra processed. He doesn't really talk a lot about like fruits and vegetables, and then they kind of do this segue into like food deserts and people not having access, and then blue states not giving them access to the SNAP benefits, and the blue states, and then it was this whole distraction. And it's like, guys, can you talk about that? Sorry, I have a dog. Can you talk about how, you could benefit from eating a legume every once in a while?
So, that's really interesting to me, because a lot of what he's talking about, to me, makes a lot of sense. That sugar is bad for you. I mean, just sugar is just bad for you. And, and processed food, really bad for you. We know that. So some of this stuff makes sense. But, it feels like they don't want to give a complete picture. And it almost feels culture war-y to me, that legumes are kind of on the left with vegetarians and hippies and this and that. No, I'm really serious.
That's the coded language that was being,
yes. I mean, exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, I agree. I was so gobsmacked when they kept talking about the blue states. And it's like, guys, we just want people to be educated and to understand how to get access. What is a diversified microbiome? Why do you need beans? Why do you need vegetables? Why do you need fruit? Like, tell them how to do it. Show them. It's not about red or blue. It's just about, I am a person and I should have access to good healthcare. He talks a lot about Europe, and he's like, oh, Europe has one of the best healthcare systems. And it's like, oh, did you just say that out loud? Then can you look to them and look to the reasons why, and then give us the same? It's like minimum stuff that they just can't get their minds around. But they also believe that Americans should have healthcare in their own hands. And I've talked to some senators that are like, hey, I have a chef. Americans should get chefs too. Like, there's a lot of work to be done.
So to summarize, a lot of this common sense, A lot of it good.
Moderation.
Moderation is always part of it, and maybe less politics in it next time around.
Totally. And also, I think the last piece is that many dietitians take insurance. 93% of our patients exercise their insurance benefit. You all have the coverage. You can see a dietitian every other week, and they will help you make sense of all of this. So just go do that.
Now we start getting into health insurance. That's a whole other.
Yeah,
That's a different story, but you have access.
Yeah.
You have access.
I just want to get into one other thing just real quick. Like, how many Hi-Ho burgers a month, maybe?
2.
Okay.
Only 2.
Only 2? Okay.
Only 2.
Wait a minute,
Only
does that, if it's double patty, can you get 2 or just 1?
No, just 1. I want 1 patty. Yeah, two patties total. Max.
All right.
All right. Nice to see you guys.
Vanessa, thanks so much.
Great seeing you,
Thank
Vanessa.
you.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day.
Coming up.
Matt Kalil, a former NFL star, his ex-wife was on a podcast. Haley Kalil was explaining why they broke up, and well,
she said his penis is too big.
Here's what she said, and then we will explain why Matt is now suing her.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. You know, normally people hate jury duty, right? And they're like, they'll do anything to get out of being on a jury. This is a case that I guarantee people will want to be on the jury. Matt Kalil, a former NFL star, who we talked about him a couple of months ago because his ex-wife was on a podcast. Haley Kalil was explaining why they broke up. And, well,
she said his penis is too big. And essentially, that's what she said.
She said it in far more detail. So here's what she said, and then we will explain why Matt is now suing her.
You was married?
I was married. Yeah, we're still friends. He's married, has a baby. He's doing great. He's the greatest guy in the world, too. Just the greatest guy.
So, and how long y'all married for, if I can ask?
7 years. I, never did drugs, never any of those things. I was a virgin till marriage. I did all of those things. Yeah, I was like the... yeah. I'm gonna type something on my phone that the stream can't see.
Okay, cool.
But that'll put it into perspective for you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but I was gonna try. I was gonna try it all. Yeah. Therapists, doctors.
You're lying.
Not even lying. Looked up lipo.
Yeah.
2 Coke cans stacked on top of each other. Maybe even a third.
So she's showing him the picture?
I don't know if she showed a picture or if she just typed out that.
Oh, I thought she had a
huge
picture.
penis.
She just.
No, I think she just. I don't think she showed a picture. Okay. So everyone had to laugh at that, and we're like, oh, now we know that about Matt Kalil. No big deal. In fact, most guys were like, oh, good for him, right? That's there's nothing embarrassing about that.
And the description
No.
was quite impressive.
No, Matt says this has been very traumatic for him and his new wife.
Yeah, and so traumatic, Charles, that he has literally filed a federal lawsuit for invasion of privacy against his ex-wife, Haley, for what she said. He says, look, and I know we're joking about it, but he says, look, in all seriousness, he says, my new wife is getting harassed by people who are making all these disparaging comments about her. And he says it's ruined any chance of laying low after football. Now he's got everyone raving about his penis. It still doesn't sound too bad to me. But
I gotta say, this is a tough one to win.
To win?
Yeah, it's like, I mean,
is she allowed to talk about it?
What are her? I mean, it has to. No, it doesn't have to subject her to scorn and ridicule because that's really defamation.
Yeah, that's defamation.
I guess the bigger thing is, does he have
bigger thing? For lack of a,
does he have to?
No pun intended.
Well, is that Exhibit A in court? No, I'm actually serious.
It was not.
It's relevant, right? Because nobody's disputing whether or not there's no dispute over his manhood.
Okay,
right.
So, I'll be the lawyer and you be the client, okay?
No. I think better off be me.
No, I've got this, Mike. I've got this.
Okay, so I say, Your Honor, we're going to stipulate to what the defendant is saying in describing my client's anatomy. What expression do you use when he says that? Exactly.
I definitely think that she was super wrong for that. I think that if the roles were reversed and she was a man, that would be crazy unacceptable. So, yeah, I can't get behind that. I'm not gonna lie, Haley, I can't.
Well, you shouldn't get behind that.
You shouldn't get behind it, in front of it. None of that. Former SNL star Chris Redd is coming clean. That's the way he is describing it. Coming clean about a story that we broke, got over 3 years ago now, that he was dating Kenan Thompson, his co-star, Kenan Thompson's ex-wife. And at the time, a lot of people felt like, oh, this was out of line, that Chris shouldn't be doing that. Now he is explaining how that relationship started and more about his relationship with his castmates when he was on SNL, and seems very clearly very emotional about revealing all of this.
You know, I'm not really one for resolutions or nothing like that, but I do have one that I'm gonna be leading with a lot more vulnerability and openness. So I wanted to address something that's kind of this, I guess, been around for a long time. I know a lot of people talk about me dating Kenan Thompson's ex-wife, and I'm gonna just tell it to you straight, man. It wasn't no plan. I saw everything that everybody said. Bottom line is, while I was at the show, I had some pill issues, I had some pill problems. I was even selling some to the people, so some of my castmates. This lady was the only one to call me on, help me with my. She helped me with my therapy journey, and in that time, we fell in love. It made me look terrible, It made me look terrible to people that I love, and a lot of my fans. So I didn't know how to do this without doing this.
Wow. Yeah, and he says he's going to be talking more about this on stage. He has an upcoming show.
I'm a little confused.
Where he wants to reveal.
Was this Kenan's ex-wife at the time they got together, or was?
Yes, or they were estranged with.
I believe they were separated.
Yeah.
When she would come on set with Kenan when they were together, she would see Chris. She knew all of the cast members. All of them become very close friends, very tight. Now the romantic part definitely didn't start until Kenan and her were separated.
Right.
Of course, her and Chris always had a friendship, which, as he explained, bubbled
So is this
into
the bro
a
code
romance.
thing?
Well, that's what.
Yeah.
That's what everyone always thought it was, and he's saying, "Look, she helped me," and it sounds like he's saying she helped him with the pill problems,
Right.
and that out of that is how the
Right.
relationship
That's what
started.
she's saying.
Right.
But is that? Okay. But still, it
Yeah.
gets back to bro code. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, and
Is that his regret?
But the thing is he does explain that he and Kenan had a talk about this. That when him and Christina became romantic, they had a discussion about this. He felt like everything was cool up until the story got out, aka when we broke the story that they were dating, and then shortly after he got fired from SNL. So he felt like that wasn't a coincidence. This all happened because of the story getting out, and maybe Kenan felt embarrassed. Unclear if Kenan had a hand in his, firing, but it does kind of.
So are they together still?
He and Christina.
So it's interesting because when he's talking about Christina and their relationship, it kind of sounds like past tense, but I'm told they are still very much in each other's lives, and they are still together. And he was just referring to the past, what happened in the past. Yeah.
Hey, TMZ. My name is Chinya Ani. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. And exactly what you guys said, it's all about bro code. So first of all, integrity is at an all-time low. And I think that's because people are really suffering. And we have to always remember what's done in the dark is going to come to the light. So, I like the part where he said, people watch people destroy themselves. Like in the video, he's like, they watch me destroy myself and she's the only one who's looking out. So it's like, it's hard to judge. So I hope that his friends can give him grace, but at the same time, he's using it for marketing for his show. So what's his real intentions? Does he really regret his actions? Is it all an
It could be
act?
both, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Could be both.
It could be both.
Because he said he went through a lot of therapy, and the theme of this show he's doing is, what have you sacrificed for love?
Coming up.
Well, Ashley Tisdale definitely opened Pandora's box and then tried to close it, but guess what?
It doesn't close.
It does not close, and Hillary Duff's husband, actually, I should say, is calling her out on it.
Be right back.
Well, Ashley Tisdale definitely opened Pandora's box and then tried to close it, but guess what?
It doesn't close.
It does not close, and Hillary Duff's husband, actually, I should say, is calling her out on it. So remember, Ashley Tisdale wrote this essay for The Cut where she said, I had to quit my mom group because they were too toxic and it was cliquey and it just wasn't for me.
And so a lot of people were saying that in the mom group, they thought it was Mandy Moore,
Hilary Duff, Meghan Trainor.
Right.
And then Ashley's rep told us, oh, no, it's not about them. It's a different mom group.
Unequivocal, saying not about them.
Yeah. Well, Hilary Duff's husband begs to differ and called her out by posting basically his version of Ashley's cover for The Cut. And the title of, so that's Ashley's on the right, where it says breaking up with my toxic mom group. And instead, Matt's version is, when you're the most self-obsessed, tone-deaf person on earth, other moms tend to shift focus to their actual toddlers. A mom group tell all through a father's eyes.
So in other words, what he is saying is the publicist lied to us.
He's saying it was Hilary Duff and that same mom group.
And it was Hilary Duff, and it was presumably the others as well.
We should say it's that same group, but we don't know that she's necessarily saying Hillary did anything.
Right, but what they're saying is they kind of shunned Ashley because he's saying Ashley was so self-obsessed that they were just dealing with their own stuff. They didn't want to deal with Ashley's self-obsession.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I believed for a second that when the rep told us that this could have been some other group.
Oh,
so Janet,
right for a moment.
Janet, so what lessons have you learned here? What lessons have you learned here?
Maybe they have a job to do and they're just going to like tell us things.
And maybe you don't believe everything.
Maybe not believe it.
Necessarily
but
believe
now
them.
that he did this, it's obviously like this is
Because there's
just
no way Matt wouldn't do this without Hillary's knowledge.
No.
Clearly, Matt and Hillary had a conversation, and he's like,
but
I'm going to.
Do you know what's really interesting here is that, by the rep saying no, it's not Hillary, it's not anybody else. They could have just let it lie because then it's like, we weren't involved. The rep saying it. They wanted to come out and say it really was us because she's so difficult.
Right. He is so funny for this. He's kind of known to be like a bit of an internet troll.
I like him. I like him.
Yeah, he's really funny.
Wait, was Matt a hockey player?
No, he's a musician.
Oh, I'm thinking of the same thing you are.
Matt Coma, but I think maybe.
I think it's the ex.
I think it's the ex. Was the hockey player.
She used to date a hockey player, yeah, but he's a musician.
My name is Elijah, and I'm from Maryland. And I think that Matthew definitely had this conversation with his wife before he actually put that post up. But if it were me, I wouldn't have put it online. I think that's a conversation that should be done behind the scenes. But I do understand why he was trying to defend his wife, because I would do the same thing. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, look, what I think is I like this guy. That's what I mean. Honestly, that's what I think. I like this guy a lot.
This was fully choreographed with Hillary's knowledge, and
absolutely,
the fact that she signed off on it tells you all you need to know.
I like it a lot.
Coming up.
Cardi B is taking a break from defending her boyfriend Stefan Diggs, probably at the behest of his legal team, and instead she's addressing more serious issues. I'm kidding. She's talking about
the proper way of eating a banana
in public.
Be right back.
Cardi B is taking a break from defending her boyfriend Stefan Diggs, probably at the behest of his legal team. And instead, she's addressing more serious issues. I'm kidding. But she's talking about bananas. Why is Cardi B talking about bananas? She's talking about
the proper way of eating a banana
in public.
I'm not even gonna. I'm not even trying to eat a banana like a sexy bitch. If you a man, this is how you eat a banana in public. You gotta break it. You gotta break it. You can't just you know what I'm saying? You gotta. That's what my boy Funk said. Funk Bleezy said, men can't eat bananas in public.
Okay, I know it's
why was that so fascinating? I'm like, why am I watching Cardi B eat a banana?
You know why? Honestly, this is a gay trope. It's
not a gay trope. It's just a man trope.
No, it is.
Actually, no, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
The guy shouldn't be doing it because if a guy does it, it means he likes it.
No, it just looks. It gives off the
yes,
illusion of
there's
self-hate.
definitely some homophobia there.
1,000%. But you.
Homophobia there.
But what she's talking about was that everyone thinks about this when they eat a banana
For
in
sure.
public.
Even men, when women eat
and
the
that's
banana.
why it's like she caught herself doing it and then turned it into this whole thing about men can't do it.
They can't eat. Men can't eat anything that's like shaped like that. Like they can't eat pickles. They can't eat popsicles. They can't eat.
What are you talking about?
If anything is shaped.
Hey, Cardi Jr., can you tone it down a little bit? What's going on?
Oh my God.
Hey, it's your girl Breezy, and I'm out of Cincinnati. And I feel like men that feel like they cannot eat a hot dog or a banana in its natural form without breaking it may not be confident in who they are or their sexuality.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's a homophobic trope. That's what it is. Sorry for getting serious. What else you guys want to talk about?
So I think we're talking about Nick Reiner and his lawyer quitting, right? Renee, Atlanta. It comes to be that it just looks like to me his lawyer is jumping ship quickly. It seems like there may be some issues financially. It's my prediction that once the details of this case really hits the web, you'll understand fully why he's quitting. And I do feel that the family is going to cut Nick off financially where he can't even afford proper representation.
As for why he left and what the specifics are, he wouldn't get into it. And frankly, I don't understand it.
Yeah, and he can't say at this point. So.
Yeah. One more.
I am JP Porter from Kissimmee, Florida, and I'm talking about the new food pyramid that was announced by RFK today. And I just don't think it's exactly new or groundbreaking, but I have a question. When was there ever a war on saturated fats? They were only ever limited because they drive up bad cholesterol, which drives up heart attacks. I just think that telling people to eat more saturated fats in a nation where we're already struggling with heart disease is a really bold strategy and kind of reckless.
I kind of agree with you.
That's the confusing part.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Coming up.
Madame Tussauds just unveiled a new Zendaya wax figure, and
wait a minute, whoa.
Do you know which one is which?
Well, only because I saw her walking the red carpet. I think the one on the right is real.
Be right back.
Wax figures, we've seen them for years when they unveil it and you go like, who are they thinking of? Zendaya.
Some are really good and some are horrible.
By the way, if you are the one who gets assigned to do Zendaya's, you got to be a little nervous, right? Like, you got to nail this. Well, Madame Tussauds just unveiled a new Zendaya wax figure, and
wait a minute, whoa.
I got to say, do you know which one is which? Which one is the wax figure?
Well, only because I saw her walking the red carpet. I think the one on the right is real, but
No, the one on the right is the wax figure.
Oh, you're kidding?
It says Madame Tussauds behind it.
That's how crazy I am.
Yes, I agree. You are crazy.
Well, no, I couldn't read it because my eyes.
Oh, you could.
But, it does say that. Oh, my God.
They got the abs down,
They got the abs down totally. The abs look more lifelike in the right, on the one on the right than on the left.
Well, it's because we have a blur because of underboobage.
Well, maybe, okay, that's a good answer.
Yeah.
Anyway, good job, man. It's Tussauds.
See you tomorrow.